exclusively a military contractor.
Deimos ships are responsible for countless victories. They're a true piece of history.
Ah, it's nice to see someone not in uniform. They can be so touchy, you know. Always eager to point out the slightest problem. Oh, please tell me you aren't secretly some high-ranking general, are you? What a relief. I assume you're here for a ship. Either that, or you are really, really lost. Mr. Henderson handles sales, but if you want to know anything about our ships, I'm your gal. I mean, they're very good, obviously. But these days, everyone's using the same core tech, right? Oh, shit. Do you know you can be lectured on being too honest? Right. What makes Deimos special, though, is the package. We've been building ships forever, and the way we put it all together, well, it's really good. In a, I'm gonna murder my enemies sort of way. The UC Navy. I repaired just about every class of vessel there is. I even repaired Henderson's longsword once or twice. I swear that man has a guardian angel with him full time. Or 3. Deimos hired me because I know every rivet and microchip on these ships. So if Henderson gets stumped on something, it's showtime. Oh, yeah. Bye.
No other ship can hold a candle to a Deimos. It's not even close. You should be honored to step foot in here.
Welcome to Deimos.
What do we have here? A civilian in my star yard. Deimos prides itself on being the UC's first and last line of defense in space. But we're more than happy to protect and arm bold entrepreneurs that do their business among the stars. Anyone that flies in space earns my respect. Heck, an independent may be even braver. You don't have a fleet at your back when the Crimson Fleet comes calling. So, let's see about getting you a proper ship, one worthy of you. Excellent. When you get serious about your spacecraft, come back to Deimos.
That feeling of sitting in the cockpit of a longsword,
This is the heart of the UC.
These.
This is UC Security. Prepare to be scanned for contraband. And we're done. Feel free to land.
This region is not suited for biological life forms. It does not possess the resources required for your survival.
Welcome to New Homestead.
Please make your way to the building at the end of the path and down into the colony below. Stay safe and enjoy your visit.
Off-worlders always ask how I can live here. I wonder how they can live anywhere else.
Fusion Inspector need some work done? Sure thing. We'll get it fixed up. Good as new. Sure, how about it?
This is a boring assignment, but let's keep it that way.
Feel free to look around, but don't touch. Welcome to New Homestead.
Careful. There are some dangerous areas around here that are not part of any tours.
You all can travel to
Someone
Starfield,
new.
but someone's
Are you a
got to
tourist,
respect
or
your
have you just
rules
moved to
and
New
traditions.
Homestead? Well, there's lots to learn. You can always feel free to try one of the historical tours, or ask the locals about life here. I'm fascinated by the other worlds in the settled systems. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh, wonderful. What's New Atlantis like? Oh my, that sounds incredible. Ever since I overheard one of the tourists speaking about it, I've always wanted to go. We hear about it, of course, but we rarely get much exposure to other worlds beyond the people who come from them to visit our little colony. I wonder if I can convince Nathaniel to go on a trip there with me and our daughter. Do you mind if I ask you another question? Thanks. I promise not to take too much of your time. Is the Freestar Collective as lawless as I've heard? I figured the stories weren't all true. How else would you expect people to live together if you can't trust in laws to keep everyone safe? Even in a small community like ours, we have to maintain law and order. Though, I understand it gets difficult to always protect that out in the vastness of space. I imagine it's the same in the Freestar Collective. Is it okay if I change the subject? Oh, thank you. Are there really planets full of plants, fresh air, and water? I've read about them. It seems incredible, doesn't it? I've only ever known Titan, and it's always so cold and drab. I've always dreamed of visiting one to breathe the air, feel the warmth of its sun, but my husband is reluctant to leave our home. Can I ask you something else? Oh, thank you. Is space travel as exciting as it seems? Well, you've convinced me that I simply must go sometime. Most of us here have never left the surface of New Homestead. It's a point of pride among many people, but I've always been curious. Those are all the questions I have at the moment. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day for me.
I overheard you speaking to my wife, Mara, filling her head with ideas about picking up and leaving home. You got anything to say for yourself? Listen here. Mara's free to make her own decisions. I'm not here to control her if that's what you're insinuating. But that doesn't mean I take kindly to other people manipulating her and telling her the other worlds are full of sunshine and rainbows. We live a simple traditional life here, and it's important to the community that we maintain that. Do you understand? We're going to have to agree to disagree then. I only ask that you respect our wishes.
I could really go for some onions cooking over at the Brown Horse.
I always wonder what it's like where other people come from. Hello? I'm not really supposed to talk with tourists, but I kind of want to anyway. And I don't think my papa is paying attention. You're not going to tell him, are you? Oh, thank you! I promise it'll be fun. I like talking to tourists. I get to learn so much about everywhere else, and they get to learn about here. Now what should we talk about? I think it's pretty fun. And I get to be around my mama and my papa all day, so that's cool. They say we all have to work a little, because it takes all of us to make the community work. Just like on Earth a really, really, really long time ago. Someday, I think it'd be cool to see other places and do other things, but this is fine for now. My mama says it's because he thinks we'd up and leave if we found out about the rest of the worlds out there. But I keep telling him, I love it here, and I love him, and I would never leave him. He doesn't believe it. He says the kids almost always want to leave when they grow up. But not me. Nope. I just want to visit somewhere else. Maybe. Not really. There's some, though. Most are around my age. We all go to school in the same room. I don't know. I've never been to any other schools. We mostly learn about the history of the Sol system and Earth and stuff like that until we get old enough to go on our learning vacation. That's when we get to leave to go to school somewhere else for a few years, or travel and visit other worlds, try out jobs and stuff. Oh, I can't wait. Bye!
It's one thing to learn about early colony life. It's another to experience it.
I still can't believe people actually live like this.
We're out of Chunk special sauce again. But trust me, the food's still great without it. Hello there. Welcome to the new Homestead Chunks. We've got all your Chunks' favorites. Well, almost all of them. Sadly, we're out of the special sauce. I know. But everything else is still that great Chunks food you know and love. So, what can I do for you? Well, people gotta eat, you know? But seriously, I think we're just starting to get with the times a little. And I can't think of a better restaurant than Chunks to usher that in. I think corporate just saw New Homestead as an untapped market. I mean, the locals may not eat it, but the tourists love having a taste of home. Oh, you had to go and ask the hard questions, huh? How can I pick just one? Chicken chunks, beef chunks, potato chunks, cheesesteak chunks, cheesecake chunks. You know what? I'm gonna cheat if you don't mind, and just say I love them all equally. You know I do. And what's not to love? It's delicious, nutritious, easy, fast, inexpensive. It sure makes my hungry belly sing for joy. My wife thinks I eat too much Chunks food, but I just can't help myself. It's so good. If I'm completely honest, it is. And people are always saying how this Chunks can't compare to the real deal. And I just know it's because we never had that mouth-watering sauce. I've been in contact with some of the other restaurants out there, and they'll give me some, but they say they can't afford to send it, and I don't have a ship, so what am I to do? Wait, for real? You do that. You're not pulling my leg. Oh, yeah, right. I actually just got a message back from another Chunks before you got here, and they got a case ready to go for me. Just tell them you're there to pick it up for me, and it should be good to go. Thanks.
Welcome to Chunks. Please choose your chunks.
What did we think of the tour?
Very informative. I didn't know about the methane harvesters before coming here.
The, Braunhorst Tavern. Huh? The food was better than I expected from a backwoods planet like this.
Hello there. The museum here is free to everyone. Hello there. Are you here to peruse our little museum exhibit?
Starfield tour. Tell your friends.
I will. Thanks again.
Excuse me, Bill. You've got to do a better job of keeping your tour groups out of trouble.
What do you mean?
Please do. Our collection of unique Earth antiquities is the best in the settled systems, if I say so myself. If you have any questions about the exhibit or New Homestead, I'm happy to answer as best as I can.
Right? You've got to do something, or else next time it happens.
Of course. Certainly. We have several items in our collection that we rotate in and out over time, but they all originate from the same place, Earth. We have everything from toys to antique technology to sports memorabilia. We even used to have an old Earth vehicle, but we had to sell it when we ran out of space for it. Most of our collection was donated by fellow Earth enthusiasts and historians who felt it belonged close to the homeland here in the Sol system. I am Maurice Leon, and I am the community elder. As the oldest living citizen at 96, my only job is to keep Earth history alive. I tell stories to the young people and the visitors from other worlds. Although my memory isn't what it used to be, I try my best to get the stories right. When our early colonists learned of Earth's demise, they decided to take on the names of their cities of origin as a way to remember their heritage. Now, some may have been lost in translation over the years, and some may have taken it more seriously than others, but the names are mostly accurate. For instance, my family comes from the city of Lyon, in a country that was called France. Sure, I'd love to. There was once a war, so big that they say all of the world was involved. This was actually the second time it happened. They fought because a terrible man named Hitler rose to power and slaughtered many innocents. Millions were lost. Even the colony war pales in comparison. It's an interesting story. New Homestead began as a scientific research base called the Titan Astrobase, back when space travel was in its infancy. The hope was that humanity would be able to discover simple alien life here given the moon's composition and water supply. When that ultimately failed, it was repurposed as a colony research base, where scientists and engineers studied how to build colonies on inhospitable worlds. Then, finally, when gravity drives were commonplace and we started finding Earth-like planets, New Homestead was born as a living history community to preserve that past. Enjoy the rest of your stay in New Homestead.
Enjoy your visit here.
I think the Marshal was right about you.
Why, hello there! I'm Bill Starsap of Starsap Tours. Let me tell you, this place is full of history and interesting facts. For instance, did you know that New Homestead was one of the first colonies established outside of Earth? It's been populated in some capacity for over 200 years.
And unimaginable history. I cannot overstate how important it was for all of...
Well, there's plenty more where that came from if you're interested in taking one of my famous tours. So what do you say? I've got an opening. I could take you on a tour right now if you'd like. Definitely check out the Brown Horse Tavern. Good food, great atmosphere. Avoid spending too much time outdoors. It's freezing out there. Any more than that, and well, I'd be giving away the tour for free. Hey, thanks for stopping by.
Boy, am I glad they have a Chunks here. I was hoping you could tell me some more about this exchange program.
It's a little weird that people come here to see what early colony life was like. To me, it's...
Am I being reassigned somewhere? Smell after a while.
So then I told him that we churn our own butter. He completely bought it.
You didn't.
I did. I know.
Don't I always?
But I just
Here.
wanted to see how they react.
But...
I'm ready to help out whenever you need me.
Old-fashioned than they already
Yeah,
do.
ask away.
That's a good point. They already gawk at us like we're some sort of ancient...
Shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, I'm just trying to have a little
You heard
fun,
of New Homestead
but
and the Sol
you're
System?
probably right.
Nah, most people haven't. It's out in the sticks, on one of Saturn's moons. That's where I grew up. Not exactly the most exciting place to be a kid. It's got a lot of ice, a lot of wind, and not much of anything else. I wasn't exactly torn up about leaving to work for Argos. My family weren't still working the wind farms there. I don't think I'd ever go back. Not enough, according to my mom. but I try to get back every couple months. And I keep in touch when I'm not there. Oh yeah, big time. New Homestead was one of the first places people settled after we left Earth. Back then, wind power was all the rage. Some of the equipment at the farm's been around since the first generation of settlers made it to Titan. And it shows, let me tell you. Lots of people in New Homestead work there, including my mom. It's not the greatest job, but it sure beats the ice mines. Catch you later.